Once again, we are down at the Olympia Health and Fitness. We're filming episode 8 of Brutally Honest. You know, we've been away for a little while, but this is the new production team. We've got a new cameraman, and we've got a lot of exciting things we're going to be doing this year in 2026. Today, we have got some extremely special people, and to kick off 2026, you know, we've got, I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves, but we're also going to do a little bit of a twist. So everybody what comes on to our Brutally Honest podcast, at the end of it, we're going to allow them to go into the gym, and we're going to see how much they can bench for reps. So for men, it's going to be 20 kg, and for ladies, it's going to be 10 kg, and it's going to be a little bit of fun, a little bit like Top Gear, you know. So we're going to finish off, and we're going to have a leaderboard, you know, and see who can get themselves at the top of the board. But anyway, that'll be overdue. We have got the guy to my left. I'll let him introduce himself. Who are you, sir?
Yes, so my name's Comrad. I'm a video director from Leicester.
Excellent, Comrade. So we'll come back to you. And then we've got my co-host there. You introduce yourself.
Lil'T, Team Olympia.
And then we've got, you know, not everybody calls me big man, but, you know, we've got a extremely special guest away directly across from me. Who are you, sir?
Hello, everybody. My name is Cat73. I'm from Leicester as well. Much respect to all the Brutally Honest watchers and subscribers.
And yeah, definitely, you know, for everybody out there, we are a new podcast, what's Mash It Up the Dance. As I said, for those who don't know, you need to Google what Mash It Up the Dance means. Okay, so, right, I think today it's really going to be really interesting because this episode is going to be called Peckhams X10, you know, and if anybody knows what Peckham's like in London, I think they're going to understand where we're going with this. But we're going to start with Comrade first, right? So I think what we're going to do with Comrade, we're going to ask him a few questions and find out a little bit more about him, you know, where he grew up, you know, and not leave it into that. So first of all, obviously you grew up in Leicester, you said. Yeah, so you went to school in Leicester?
Yeah, so went to school in Leicester, moved around a little bit as well. For some reason, my mum couldn't stay in one place. So, yeah, like, I just sort of got used to adjusting real quick to different situations. Because just the way I was brought up, like, we was never living in the area for more than 2 years. Moved to a different area, new school, new...
Is that within Leicester?
Within Leicester, or within Leicester, yeah.
And what was the reason why she moved around? Was it a problem?
I don't know. I think for her, because obviously a single parent, she never really felt settled. And it was just me and my sister. And yeah, you know, the first 2 schools that we moved to, it was difficult because it was like I got my set of friends and have to move again. And then after that, it just sort of become natural to automatically adjust quickly to different environments and situations. And I think I carried that on later on in life as well, just in, you know, around different people, different situations, different rooms. I just feel, I don't feel uneasy or anything. I just feel okay because I think that's because I got used to it from my early age as well.
Okay. So, obviously moving around a lot. I mean, I'm just thinking about some of the stories on podcasts I've watched on, you know, on YouTube. You know, what comes to mind is one of the rappers from Manchester, which, you know, I think a lot of people like his music. I mean, it sounds a little bit like that, where he was moving around,
yeah,
you know, and Bugsy Malone, for those who don't know. So anyway, so you went to school. So you went to different schools because you was moving?
Yes, yeah.
So that must have been difficult for you?
Yeah, it was. Again, you know, just always being the new kid walking into a new classroom all the time. First couple of times was a bit scary, all eyes on you, but then after a while it was just like, oh, it's just a CA.
Okay. So academically, was you great, but it's
no,
low?
Rubbish. And I didn't realise that I had a huge dyslexia problem until I went to university in my mid-30s. Obviously, growing up, I never thought that I could go uni or be good enough for uni or be good enough for, just to be a normal person with a degree of some sort. In going to school at a later age, like university, it also showed me that there's always time as well. It's never too late to do anything you need and chase your dreams, and sort of don't be in a rush to do it.
And it's interesting that you say that, because and we'll touch on your a little bit more what you do within the community, but we also run a charity, Olympia Wellbeing Academy, and we obviously mentor young people through sport and activity, leading into job search and what have you. And I'm always from teenage years, I'm always saying you need to be thinking about what you're interested in doing. What career you go, what do you want to do in the future? And you at 30 years old didn't really figure that out until you got to, later on in life, which is really interesting, because most people, even in school, they'd always say we need to know what we need to do from just before we leave, I'm actually following that trend. So like in the Matrix,
Yes.
like a robot, they programmed me, even they've got me, to think that you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you never know.
Exactly. You just don't know.
Yeah.
And he's living proof to go to university at 30 years old, which is, I take my hat up to you, and enough respect, but yeah, definitely. So I'm going to leave.
They put him on the advert. They did. They actually put him on the advert.
The use on the billboard.
Yeah,
University, yeah.
Why was that then?
My face is plastered everywhere all over there.
Right, and I thought you was joking.
No, I'm actually being serious. They used him for the advert and that. He's an exemplary student and that.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Just explain to us where you was born, and tell me a little bit about your upbringing.
Well, I'm born in the old world in the 1900s.
Come on, man. A man like you. Well, where's the wrinkles then? You still look fresh,
I'm almost 53 now, so
and you're looking for.
I'm
I
getting
guarantee if you walk,
I'm starting to mature now.
you are. But you know something? There's no wrinkles, and you're still looking young and fresh. But as I said, black don't crack, beige don't age.
Give thanks. But yeah, I'm born in 1973, Leicester. Grew up in Leicester. Went to London for a little while. London didn't work out for our family, so we migrated to the States. With my father's family.
To the States.
Yeah. New York. I went to school in Brooklyn.
What age was you when you migrated?
About, oh dear. See, I've had such a hard time with numbers and figures. I would say about 7, 8, we started going to the States. And then there was one journey where I never returned to England, basically. And then it was then put in reverse, kind of like you went to England on holiday kind of thing when it was possible. But yeah, about 7, 8.
So obviously you say did you move with your mother and father?
With my mother, initially what I thought it was with my mother and father, but it just ended up being with my father, basically. My mother didn't like the States at all, so she left and went back to Barbados.
And that's where you.
Yeah, that's where my mom and dad were from. Barbados were full Bayesian, you get me? Yeah. So I was left in America to go to school and do all the necessaries out there.
So obviously we did a little, infant school part. I think I'm not sure what to call it these days, but obviously you went to nursery infant in the UK.
Yeah,
and then
I went junior high school in America. High school. Well, I started high school.
What's the difference?
Before
is it any kind of difference, or is it the same kind of thing?
As in what kind?
Obviously, when I watch movies, maybe I'm watching the wrong movies, a few gangster movies and what have you. But when I watch the schools in the US, for example, everything seems to have like that security on the gate. So.
Oh yeah. In contrast to English schools and that, like it's right. As an adult, looking back at it and looking at the situation as an adult of my child life in school, the schools, in contrast to the UK schools, were more like training grounds for incarcerations. Just the whole procedure of right. In them days, the metal detectors in America were just being introduced into schools because of a few shootings that happened inside the school premises and that. So it was a
school.
Yeah, so it was a new thing when I was going to school, like to have metal detectors and all that. You know what I'm saying? So even that was a new experience for even American kids. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah, I think a lot of it is to do with the way that the teachers viewed the students and the areas that they're working in these schools. That's got a lot to do with it. So it builds an environment in it, you know what I'm saying? So like it's an atmosphere. And once the atmosphere sinks below, it's, you know what I'm saying? It becomes all, murky, innit? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like a UK school environment. Okay, you go to school in UK, few kids get beat up or whatever, but it's not, well, it never used to be as serious as it's getting nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Right, I know that you guys had a serious situation over here that I attended you guys' anti-knife event with the young gentleman that lost his life over here tragically in a school.
So before I'm going to move back on to Comrade, I mean, so how did you find, was there a massive culture shock for you to go to a school with, metal detectors, people, as you said, people was getting shot in school? I mean,
yeah, I got rushed on my first day of school. Got about 15 guys.
There you go. Is that because you were from UK or?
No, I didn't even think they knew I was from the UK. Just because I was from a different block. I was from 93rd Street and they was from 95th. And that's how it went out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody told me about the conflict that was happening between the blocks. So my first day of school now, I'm following my cousin and them lot home and they've just took off running. You get, and I remember it was snowing and that. I was like, yo, I ain't running, man. Forget this. Next year, no, book back, book. I have to turn around trying to fight 2 guys at once and then next 15 guys come running around the corner. That was it. Yeah. So it was a good experience.
So that's your first day?
Well, yeah.
To the USA, New York.
The second day was better.
Yeah, what happened?
I went back to school. You see, one thing, coming from the bad blocks in England and that, man, you come up rough, innit? We don't come up with trying to shoot guys from down the street. We come up with breaking your jaw and, you know what I mean? So yeah, I had to show them how to fight, innit? You know what I mean? I fought everybody in my block. I fought my cousins. I fought their friends. They used to bring people from other blocks to fight me. So I just fought everybody in my whole 10-block radius. So I was like that when it comes to fighting, you know what I mean?
And you was fist fighting them, not using a weapon.
Yeah, my dad's a Green Beret commando.
Oh,
yeah.
So he's a tough guy.
Yeah, my dad's the real deal. That is a Green Beret, Royal Marine Commando, 20 years strong.
And the reason why I'm impressed, because what a lot of people may not know is that I'm a bodyguard. I'm a trained bodyguard.
I used to do that as well.
Close protection, CP work, and I work with a lot of ex-commando Royal Marines, and I know the mindset of some of these guys. Yeah, I've spoke to a lot of these guys where they've been in Bosnia in war, and I've listened to the stories of when we're on certain CP jobs. We spend time, we live together and what have you, and I couldn't believe the stories. I mean, this is what they told me. I wouldn't even like to repeat on camera because it's just crazy. The mindset of some of these guys it's like they're not even human anymore.
Yeah, my dad wouldn't tell me anything. My godfather used to tell me about my dad.
There you go. Because as I said, I've learned about. I used to kind of look at them, and when you look at a man, and I was a big bodybuilder, 20 pro bodybuilder, and I was working with some of these guys, and I forget size. I mean, I tell you now, I've worked with guys at 10 stone, and I looked at them, and they was talking to me. When a man just looks, you look at him, and there's nothing in his eyes, and he's looking through into your soul. That's what I was seeing with some of these guys. What they'd seen and what they'd done, it's changed them, the whole makeup of that person. So it's like they're almost feelingless. And these guys are like, I was a little bit worried with them. I thought, why? I have to sleep with one eye open, because some of these guys are like, they're serious guys. What they're seeing and what, prisoner of war, they've told me about all the things, what they've been through. And these are like almost machines.
Yeah, coming through the 70s, late 60s, through the 70s into the 80s. My dad was in all them conflicts there, like all that Falklands, Argentina, all them kind of stuff. He was there. You get me? He spent 18 years on the warship. Then he did 2, maybe 3 years training in in Portsmouth, and that's where my sister was born, in Portsmouth, God rest her soul. And then and after 2 years after that, the hero came and saved the world.
That's it, really impressive. So, okay, I mean, we're gonna definitely come back to you, because that's just in the primary school then, eh? It's gonna be interesting to learn, experience what you went through when you went to secondary school and beyond. But let's just jump back to Comrade, right? So Comrade, so obviously you I know we fast forwarded to the time when you went to uni, but what about you went through school, you didn't get any qualifications, is that correct? And then, so we've left school, right? You're 16 years old, you have no qualifications. Tell me, so who's Comrade? What's he doing?
Just bitting and bobbing, really. So anything to hustle, anything I can buy cheap, anything I can flip to make money. I was working, my first actual job at the time as well was fitting like window grills. So, the bars that were over windows, that was my first job. And I was still too young to do that. At 16, it was just cash in hand. And from there, it's always just sort of been cash in hand, factory jobs, flipping a couple things, just trying to make ends meet, really. I'd not sort of know what I wanted to do. Then I dabbled a little bit on music. I was really big into music. And from that was the weird transition of going into the video side of it, because I started doing music videos, and then the cameraman let me down. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to buy a cheap one, and I'm going to do it myself.
So let me just bring you back a little bit. So you had a few normal jobs, if you want to say, 9 to 5, just trying to hustle and make a bit of money. You still living with your mum?
No.
So you left your
Yeah, I left my mum's
at 16?
No, not at 16. I was still at my mum's. I think I left my mum when I was about 22.
Okay.
Because then she moved to Derby and I just stayed in last night.
So, okay. So you did a few little, normal jobs, as you say, and then you went into, was it music or what?
Yeah. So music, just started getting into music, writing lyrics, producing music. And then I started doing music videos, and then the cameraman let me down. And I was like, you know what? I'll just do it myself. I'll get a camera and just figure it out. Got the camera, and I actually love doing that more than doing the music. So I picked it up and just started teaching myself, really. And it was at that time when I started doing delivery driving. And I was there for about 12 years. And in the process of that,
What kind of delivery driving?
DPD, right? So just like multi-drop delivery driving. I was doing that. Got in a relationship with my missus, who I'm still with now. And then we found out she was pregnant. I was in a 1-bedroom flat, and something was just always at the back of my mind where it was sort of like, this surely can't be a day in, day out. So yeah, eventually I just took the jump and left my day-to-day job and went doing filming full time, which was difficult.
Do you think that, of course, it's a difficult industry I believe for anybody, but do you think because your colour was holding you back a little bit, or no,
not so much. You know what, but growing up, I never really seen colour like that, because obviously I got racial slurs and stuff when I was moving from different school to school, but I always still treated everyone the same, whether you're Asian, Chinese, blah, blah, whatever, you're the same person to me. And, growing up, it was always a bit confusing, where it was like, how comes these people don't see the same thing type thing. But I always try and look for the good in the person and in the world, even if they're blatantly showing that they're not. Because I know that everyone deep down is good. It's just finding it, you know.
So you believe that
I believe
you are no, because you know it's funny that you should say that, you know, like, because like there's a lot of industries where businesses where I've just been talking to somebody earlier on off camera, and they was sharing an experience where they said if it would have been a English white, their business would have probably been done a lot better than because he's an Asian man. You know, my experience, I've suffered a lot of racism, discrimination, based on me being a big black man. You know, it's even been, you know, pulled over by the police, you know, anything, going for a job interview, walking down the street, going to the supermarket. Not a few days ago, I was in the supermarket and the security is pulling me around. I thought, oh, for God's sake, would you think I'm here to nick a couple of tins of beans? I mean, come on. I mean, but this is what I see. This is, and you know, people may think that it's, and hopefully it's getting better, but it's still there for me, my experience. So it's interesting that you say that you've been in the music industry and you didn't really think that that was all going to hold you back. That's really good.
Yeah. It was just, like I say, that there is that aspect of the racial thing there, and you know, again, like I say, people do show it blatantly sometimes, and again, I just think it's just finding the good in that person for them then to think, hold on, all this time I was, you know, I don't know why I was thinking that way. Because have you ever met someone straight off the jump and you didn't get on to him straight away? And then you get to know them a little bit and they was like, actually, you know what, I mean, we've got more in common than I thought.
100%.
Yeah. You know, and it's just the same thing as, you know, the opposite person just growing up, know nothing but to be like, look after my own kind, don't let any outsiders in, this and that, until they start meeting different people and opening their minds a little bit more. And, you know, another thing what my short films are about is about perspective, because I'm a big believer on that, you know, always look at it from another man's point of view before you cast your judgment on it as well. Because I think that's what's wrong in society, especially today.
No, I mean, definitely not respect. So yeah, okay. So you started making music. So you're writing music.
Yeah.
Are you an artist or?
Yeah. So I was writing music. What kind of music? But it was mostly hip hop, because I grew up listening to like Wu-Tang, Tupac, all the old school type music. You know, the original hip hop, not the hip hop nowadays, but
Not the grind.
Yeah.
You're not into that?
Well, I you know, when it come around in the UK, it was like, oh, it's nice because this is our sound in the UK. Like, we've got something that's here. But I was still sort of on the UK hip hop, the underground hip hop, like Rodney P, Skinny Man, you know, like those sort of guys. I was always stuck to the hip hop side of it. I weren't really too keen on the faster stuff. I listened to a bit of drum and bass. But yeah, I was never really too keen on the one scene in terms of like what I'd listened to.
So yep. So obviously, so you've had a career. So you went into music, and spitting, producing, making movies. Is that what you're doing?
No. So I went from obviously the transition from music to that was, like I say, the cameraman let me down. Started filming it myself, and then I picked it up, and then from that I was dabbling in the camera work while I was doing the delivery work, and then eventually I just thought, you know what, I've got to try and make this work. So I just quit my day-to-day job and done the video in full time. It was tough. It was tough, you know, doing that transition in taking the risk, especially when I got, you know, a baby on the way. It was a hard decision.
And you're giving us some really good examples today about for young people. I remember I'd done the same thing, and I was doing like a 9 to 5, and I said to my father and my mum, I'm finishing this job one day. He said, you're crazy. You got to stay there till you have your pension.
Yeah.
I was 20 years old. I said, pension? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
You know, anyway, I've piped that job in and I've never worked for anyone since. I've always done my own thing. I know that you do a little bit with music because I know that you've had some artists and stuff. So do you want to just touch on that?
I had a studio for about 7-8 years, called Sack House in Leicester. I'm doing a lot of underground hip hop music, but we helped a lot of artists just develop their sound, whatever genre that they was into, and provided a space for youth to come to. Just we know that a lot of our youth that are on the streets and on the road are more inclined to do a bit of music and that themselves and that when given a chance. So we just provided the space for them, just to let them do their thing, basically. Yeah, I've always been into rapping since 1980. I wrote my first rap, and I've always been rapping ever since. Basically,
so you're an artist as well.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I've always been into the 5 elements of hip hop, and I grew up on hip hop. Like that's all I ever know. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, it's probably Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like the only thing I knew about is hip hop, and still to this day. So I've always been into it. Breaking, graffiti. You know, I'm an artist. I'm a very creative person, and I always have to find an outlet to do something creative. So, yeah, like it's always been like when you couldn't do anything, you could at least have a piece of paper and a pen and pen some lyrics. Even if you ain't got no equipment, if you ain't got this or a microphone, you can write and beat on the table and rap, and you know what I'm saying. And it can alleviate some stress, which was mostly the main aim of it all. And then later on, it became, you can actually make money from doing this, or you can, you know, get your name out there a bit. So it became a bit of that.
And I remember when because I remember, I mean, it's obviously going to see your studio, and I remember you said something to me really interesting that, you know, obviously there was, you know, unfortunately, the thing what we was talking about in, you know, you was on 23rd and you got attacked because you was from 25 guys. This actually is coming to the UK now with this nonsense postcodes. And I remember sitting down with you one time and you said to me, when these guys from all different areas come to my place, there is no beef.
Yeah, it's Mecca.
I don't care what you got out on road, but when you come to my place, you're showing manners and respect.
Yeah.
I remember you had a handful of young artists in there, but tell me a little bit about that. What's going on there?
It's a big homie, isn't it? OG, like, you can't bring ignorant behavior around me, especially when I know it's detrimental for you. So if I'm spending my money, like I'm putting 20 back into building a studio and that for use to come and use, like, don't jeopardize my thing. You know what I'm saying? Have some manners and respect for me, number one, and create the environment that you're going to feel safe coming to. You get me? It takes everybody to contribute to that. You know what I'm saying? So all sides know, because I go anywhere in my city, like, I'm not restricted. You know what I'm saying? And I speak to all youths. So they all respect me. They all got, you know, if they got problems that's too much for them, they'll come and find me somehow. So it's a thing where being as you have this respect for me, and you know that I'm doing this thing here for you guys, everybody contribute to this by having good behavior when you come here. And if you see somebody leaving from here, you got to give them that pass. That's mandatory. This is Switzerland. Like, you don't do that here. You get me? So
you see, sorry to interrupt, but you see, this is where I believe the government there, and as I said, we run our charities, Olympia Wellbeing Academy, is a anti-knife crime, anti-social behaviour charity, and I believe the government haven't got a clue, and they've lost control of the streets.
yeah, they never had control.
Listening to you there now, they're supposed to be reaching out to people like you, and paying you, and you can resolve all our problems.
Yeah, but
You're showing me that you can get guys who have got beef, and these guys are ready to kill each other, stab each other, shoot each other. There's gang violence going around,
yeah,
and you can control them.
yeah.
Your building, no matter what's going on outside.
I wouldn't say even control. I am of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, what they grew up seeing was me. When I was in my darkest times, when I was at my lowest form, and I was just reacting to the pain that I was been put upon me as a child. You know what I'm saying? So when they seen the OG bugging out when they were kids, like, oh yeah, he's running around with a big shotty, or he's doing this, he's doing that, or my name was always ringing off, or we've ran down some feds and did this and did that. Like, it was just constant thing. So when they grow up, and it's not, you don't think of who came in second, you think of who's first. So when it came to the badness in my city, it was like my name was ringing. You get me? A couple other mans as well. I'm not taking that away from, like, saying that, you get me, but I didn't care about money. Other people operated from money premises. I operated off of unadulterated violence.
But however, you've changed your street name. You identify as your real name now.
Yeah.
And I believe still, and I'm going to emphasize the fact that me was also in working with young people. It takes a special kind of person and somebody with that energy and spirit to and actually, whether you want to use the word control or not, to kind of discipline. Because I'll show you something. Every single one of them will come through my door. You know the first thing they say good afternoon, and you guys know that.
Yeah.
And good evening, and come and show the staff manners and respect.
Yeah, manners and respect.
You give me any problems, you're out.
Yeah.
I don't even give you no. They're not even discussing it.
It's like you said earlier, like you said like when my brother was saying, like, he comes from a place where everybody is this good person. You get me? I ain't like my brother. You get me? As far as I'm concerned, everybody's bad. You get me? Unless you're
he's a nice guy.
Unless you're a child.
I said that. I was saying,
unless you're a child under 10, yeah, I believe that everybody's bad. Yeah, everybody's got this seed in them. Yeah, because it's the way that society is grooming people now. It's a different world. It's not like, all right, when we grew up now, we it was God over the devil. It was don't touch the crack. It was this and that. Rules and regulations were coming out. Yeah, you could be on the road and see your dad's brethren, and he would come and clip your ear if he seen you doing something. That don't exist now.
Nothing.
Yeah, and now it's topsy-turvy world where it's devil over God. You get me? Their God is guns, oil, drugs. You get me? That's this world that we live in. Look what Donald Trump's going on with, like, running down on Venezuela, doing jack moves for 1.6 million in barrels of oil and that. You get me? Like, if we did that, we'd be in jail. You know what I'm saying? And then they question him, and he said, yeah, I'm going to shop that. I'm keeping that. That's jacked. I'm going to shop that and make money, and me and my camp are going to eat. That's basically what he said.
100%.
Right. So if we did that, or if we taught that to our youths, we'd be wrong. But our highest example of behavior is the government. And if they ain't doing right by the people, then the society is going to be corrupt. And that's what's happening all the way through it, down to the schools. You get me? You got little kids in schools, bringing weapons to school, bringing this and bringing that. But the government will invest in something daft, like window taxing or something crazy, instead of putting $1 billion into the schools. Give the kids some projects, something, like, give them, like something that unusual to do, that could capture their focus and that, you know what I'm saying? Rather than just a book, or do this test. You get me? Capture. Some of these people don't learn. Like, I was a kid that didn't learn like that. I like to be practical, even though I could. Right, I'm undiagnosed autism, undiagnosed ADHD. All right, I've got 3 autistic children, and yeah, I grew up in a world where you didn't get tested for that. You were just a bad youth. You know what I'm saying? So I got licks from pillar to post. Bap. You get me? So that was my growing up. Then when I ran away from home, I couldn't take it no more or whatever. It's just the streets are out there teaching you. You get me? And depending on who you're around in these streets is the upbringing you will get. You get me? So when I'm on these streets now and I'm sleeping on top of buildings and shit like that, things like that in New York.
Oh, you can. It's okay. This is brutally honest. Say whatever you want.
I'm sleeping outside rough and that, and I'm seeing, you know, the worst of the worst activities come night time after 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the worst of the worst activities. And then that's shaping my focus as a child. You get me?
But what I want to say though is that I'll say it for the last time, this is where the government really needs to be coming to resolve a lot of problems, you know.
But do they want them resolved?
Do they want them resolved? Because to me, I don't believe they do.
Well, they get paid 96,000 annually per prisoner to keep a prisoner for a year. So
do they want to get interesting?
The prison economy, the prison business is the biggest business on earth. That and the pipeline to prison, which is currently rap music, you know,
okay. Well,
rap, grime, drill. Yeah, they just keep amping it up, turning up the volume. Remember, we came from African Bambaataa. We came from, you know, Malaka York, who produced these groups. X-Clan. You know, Bambaataa, even though he was up to nonsense and that, but like we came from a positive, then it went to NWA, then it gone to like more, you know, flamboyant, Biggie Smalls, Versace, we're doing this, drinking champagne. You know, they use their heads and twist up. They don't know where to go. None of this thing is real that they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? The only thing is what's real is when brick hit bone. Yeah, and you say, ouch. Yeah, that's real. Everything else is fluffy pie in the sky. You know what I'm saying? We all want to get there. All them guys in America chasing American dream. You know how many people dead for American dream? Yeah? You know people dead for pie in the sky? Buttermilk, grass on the green on the other side? All these things that they keep telling you. Paving stones full with gold on it, Windrush. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these things they're telling you in that. None of it's real. Only thing that's real is brick hit bone.
And just while I've got you on this subject, because I am going to move on, this thing, what do you believe is the resolution for you know, how can we resolve this situation with the youths carrying knives, for an example? Because I'll tell you now, where we sat today in Sheffield, outside of London, statistically last year, I'm not sure about this year, outside of London, Sheffield was the next most violent city. It's gone past Manchester, Birmingham.
Yeah, I could believe that.
Knocking on the door of London. So
I could believe that. You know why?
How can we resolve this?
Number one, yeah, you gotta make these people feel disgusted in themselves. Like, for example, now, yeah, how you got a poll? How you got like a score? You keeping score? What city's got the most murders? What kind of idiot you be? Like, even real murderers know that that's an idiot thing. You get me? Like, I got to be the bad. Yo, around here is the baddest. So you trying to tell me, yeah, that y'all killed so many of your own kind of people around here, yeah, that you want to now have ranking amongst in my memory? No, it don't work like that, brother. Don't work like that, because you're not killing nobody else. You're not killing no feds. You're not killing no white collar crime. Them white politician down in London and none of them. You ain't doing none of that. You just round here bullying on your own people, telling your own people, yo, you better give me this or else it's this. Or you see a man with a ring and you want to take it now. You get me? But when you see the man with a big Ferrari, you ain't taking it. You're like, wow, can I take a picture with it? You get what I'm saying? When you see the feds come now with their guns, you drop your gun, pie, drop it, bam. You're just batting up a man down the road. You drop your gun, bam, and run. What is that? Who does that? Ain't that a coward? If you went to war as a soldier, and the Germans or whoever was bossing back at you, and you drop your gun, you're going to the brig. You get me? You're a coward. So how are we now deeming these men as bad man because they got a strap that you only point at other mans, but when the feds come, you will throw this strap, you will literally throw it and run. The gun will be full of bullets. Cock back, everything ready to go. But you will dash it and run. Before you bark at the feds, you will bark at one of your civilian brethren or some next guy from the next block. That's coward behavior, bro. You can't convince me of nothing else. You get me? I don't respect niggas like that. No kind of man like that I can respect, bro. Yeah, I'd rather respect a nerd. I'd rather respect an athlete. I rather respect a doctor, a man who got out of this and made something, than somebody that's just victimizing. I've been there. I've done it myself. I've analyzed myself. This is me analyzing my own thoughts about myself, not about anybody else. You get me? I'm not here to judge you're nobody. I gotta judge myself. And only when you judge yourself is when you start to strive to try and be better. Elevate that. You get me? You can't keep walking around with the animals. You know what I mean? You have to God gave you thumbs. You know what thumbs can do? These things alone, yeah, separate you from animals. Yeah? Or else a dog will be in your fridge taking out food.
I've never heard of that before, but yeah.
These separate you from animals, brother.
Okay.
You get me? We ain't animals, bro. We got thumbs. Yeah? We got a different way of we thinking in our brain. Yeah? So man have to separate themselves from animalistic behavior.
And that's what you believe. The man's gotta, I'll let you come in. The man's gotta it's just gotta change the mindset.
It's got to start in the schools, young. It's got to stay in the schools.
And that's what this is the
It's got to go. The same behavior in schools have to be carried out at home. You can't have parents defending wrong behavior because because the teacher wanted to tell off your child, and now he's scared to tell off your child because the mum's a crash out. You get me? So he just left that child to go now and just get up to his own devices. When he does something too bad, yeah, you're out the door. We ain't dealing with you no more. Your son is a disruptive element. You get me? But all the while, he could have intervened and stopped that child if he knew that he wasn't going to get in trouble because the mum could have come and crash out.
And you know what I want to do with you? I don't know when, but I want to change this thing. I've actually got, as I said, a charity, and I want to invite you back, pay your time for my charity for you to come up. Maybe, I don't know if you'd come as well. I'd speak to my board members, and I'd like you to come and speak to some of my young people who we work with. And the reason being is, and it's so important and very, informative what you're saying to everybody out there, because like this is the reason why we run an after school club. We've got over 200 kids. We've taken them on in the last 12 weeks. There's 200 kids we've got on our books that were hanging out on the street. Half of them are from exclusion centres and got not in education. We have them in the gym between 3 and 6, mentoring them. And I want you to come and do a talk to these guys, to spend an hour with them, along with maybe you or whatever, with the music side of things as well. As I said, we'll arrange it with the board members, and I want you to come in because what you're saying is important, and we have to start in the schools. And the same manners and respect, what you just said, nobody's doing this, because that's why I get them back. As the cameraman will tell you, his works as well, that the first thing they say when they walk through the door is good afternoon and good evening. And if they see a lady or anybody stood up, big people, they give the chair up. And I'm trying to show them it's not in the gym. You do that when you're on the bus. If you see old man, that's the real gangster. That's the real gangster.
That's the real gangster-ish, yeah? Because when you go back a yard now, yeah, and you see them big dons and everything, they're building hospitals for the people, and, they're making sure that there's food in the area, and then, but met somebody try to trouble them, they'll show you what time it is.
Exactly.
Yeah? But it's not a thing whereas they're just walking around willy-nilly, just doing things to people. It don't go like that. You get me? Like, if the youths then have to be taught structure from early, yeah? It's just like, for example, now, these youths here now, they will bad up their parents at home. They will talk all this nonsense to their parents, yeah? And like I just said, they go out on road, they do something on road, police chase them down. That's the weapons. That's the first sign of respect that they got for the police. Yeah, they might talk all this crap, F the police, this and that. But you respect the police so much, yeah, that you will throw your weapon away as soon as you see them. Or you will hide your spliff. Or you will hide that ball of crack. Yeah? Because you respect the police, because you know that they will take away your freedom. Yeah? Now let's fast forward a bit. Your freedom's been taken away now. You didn't listen to your parents, and you ended up in jail. Now when you're in jail, you think that you can do anything you want in jail? Huh? You think there ain't rules in there? On the landing, you think there ain't a man that run that landing? And that's going to make your life a living hell if you come on that landing and disrupt any kind of proceedings. Trouble the little white guy at the end of the landing and see what I go on. You can't just come around the place and just go on with anything. There's rules everywhere, brother. Yeah? So the quicker you get that in your brain, the better your life going to be. when man come in the gym, yeah, can they just jump on the machine and start doing 300 kg without a stretch?
Not at all.
Right, there you go, because there's rules to this thing.
And you know, I'm gonna let T come in, but you know, it's so funny. There's some real tough guys crying in prison.
Yeah, man.
They're so bad out, but when they get inside, you know, I remember T telling me a story, which is funny. I don't know if he remembers it. He said he met a guy in you know, he was crying. Some guy, I don't know. You probably remember. I'll just touch. You tell it.
Yeah.
You tell it.
You know, with the experience comes like you've got life experience. The life experience only comes wisdom with life experience, and that takes time. And you, for yourself, you're a full circle, like Trevor, I, and others. So yeah, in your expertise coming up here at Talks can be very useful going forward. We really like that. I mean, we'll discuss that.
I'm more of a 3/4 circle. Yeah, because you see my brother here, yeah, if like he's my brother,
We know that.
right? But if it weren't for him, like sometimes I still want to crash out. I still get that hurt, and he'll be like, no, just allow it. You get me? And I have to listen to my little bro. You get me? But that's the part of the learning. You get me? Sometimes you have to humble yourself that you can listen to the little man, and the little man will tell you a jewel. So that's where I'm at with it. So I'm like more like a 3/4 circle.
Go right to that then. So big to here, I'm 3/4 circle. Give the quarter, yeah, we can relate to that. Definitely.
Give thanks.
And I come across a person and he's really upset and he's speak up. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna do myself over. I can't handle it. And I thought, okay, cool, man. This guy's listen. Hope was you alright? He goes, yeah. What's the problem? Oh, I'm with my kids, and my baby mother. I just got the phone. She's gonna start seeing someone else. Oh, okay. Well, how long you got? I've got 4 months. 4 months.
Wow.
I thought it's something wrong with 4 months. The guy's a big man. You know, massive muscle on the street is well known. You know, when this guy comes around, he's move out of the way. But in prison, it's just something else. Finished. 4 months. The guy wasn't the guy he was. You know, and that's what I said. You might be strong out on the street. You have a big name, a reputation, and you seem bad. But when you're inside prison, you know, it's game time. And this guy, he's just one classic example of that. Many on my journey, that 4 months, it just finished him. Absolutely nailed him. So, you know, jail ain't easy. No matter how you built, okay? It's from the mind mentally. You built your jail.
And well, to me personally, I don't think anybody in the right mind is likes to lose their freedom. The liberty is, to me, I mean, health is always first, but liberty is second to me. And if anyone wants to give it up, they've got to be, they must be smoking some strong stuff because.
Well, like I said, as a youth, I got 7 years. When I was 14, I did damn near 5 years out of that in the state penitentiary.
And I don't want you to tell me that yet, because I'm going to come on to you.
But what I was gonna say is like, to me, like there was no barrier between the streets and prison. It was just like all one place to me. Does that make sense? Yeah. It was like going from the street to prison. It was just like the boring bit in the middle when you're in the police station. That's how I seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just didn't bother me. Oh, where am I going now? You get me? Like, and then you get there, and it's just like another mission. Now I'm the block monster on the landing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Doing my thing. Like, I'm either on the front line doing my thing, or I'm on the landing doing my thing. It just didn't make no difference to me.
You see, to me,
And that's where a lot of these youths exist now, standardly. You get me? And that's
you believe a lot of guys have that mindset now.
yeah,
I mean, what I want to tell you now, if that's
definitely.
I don't know.
The littlest man has that mindset now because that's how they're bred. That's how it's bred. It's part of the safety mechanism. It's part of the coping mechanism. Like, if I don't cope with this, if I don't cope knowing that I might go to court today and get 10 years, I've got to cope with that. When I come back from court, I've got to cope with that. All right, I'm here for 10 years. I've got to cope with that. You know what I'm saying? So before they even go out the road, these youths have got it in their mind, yo, jail, it's the same place. You get me? Like, enough of these youths don't know what they're in for when they touch down in jail.
But I'll tell you something. When I spoke to some of them man, when they came in and they got sentenced and they got 25, 30, 33 and all that, they were shocked. Yeah. And they, when they came back on the landing, they were shocked. They didn't know what had hit them. You know, even, as I said, IPP. Now, IPP, for those who don't know, is a indeterminate sentence, public protection, and I believe
Used to be called Her Majesty's Pleasure.
So they locked up 5,000 people for around, I think, 2006. So I think it was like 09 way after it clogged all the prisons up, and then they had to abolish it because they realized it wasn't working, because you get a 30-day IPP, I think somebody got, and they end up doing 10 years.
Yeah, they still have my wife's cousin. He's still in jail. Like, he went in for like a robbery. He's been in like 16 years. So
this is how ridiculous it is. But I believe anybody, and I mean anybody,
free Derek, mate.
who had that sentence, I wish somebody without there, a group should get together and they should damn well sue that government.
I read something the other day with a youth, sorry to cut you, a youth went jail for robbing a mobile phone off of his girlfriend's cousin. And the man's in jail like 20-something years later. He's still in there.
It destroys families. It destroys that person. Listen, if somebody does wrong, punish them, yeah? Give them 2 years, whatever it is. But don't say to a man, you've got to stay there for 99 years for taking a mobile phone without maybe not even violent robbery or anything. And they haven't killed nobody.
Bro, I've got a brethren in jail that's done 22 years for slapping over somebody, yeah? And him and this youth done the same sentence. And this guy's not killed anything.
They haven't killed nobody.
You get me? These guys have done the same sentence.
And the family's going through the torture. And I believe and I hope and pray that somebody gets hold of this and takes it to a solicitor. And that's the reason why they want out of Europe, this country, because they want to break every single damn well law there is. Yeah. And I'll tell you now, I wish somebody takes over it and gets everybody's name on IPP, because they don't know mentally. You know, they're scarring a man. You tell a man that he's not coming out, I'll tell you something, and then you're going to let a man who had 1 year IPP come out in 20 years. You've turned that man into a lunatic. You know, there's a time bomb. So don't be tired what's going to happen. This guy can flip at any time.
Yeah, you will.
Because you've destroyed that guy's life.
Some of them don't.
Family.
Some of them don't come out. Some of them go from the prison to a mental institution.
That's what they do.
Yeah, man.
So somebody needs to take the government to court and they need to sue them. But if they mention that name, IPP, and it should never happen again, they are paying their pockets.
Let's look at it this way. Why don't you teach law? Why can you only buy law? You buy your way into law school. Why don't you teach law in school to the kids? Because how will the kids know I'm breaking a law if he doesn't know what a law is? You don't know what the laws are. Half these youths don't know about county lines. That's something that they just brought out under the rug. Yeah, now county lines, you go from here to there, you're in trouble. If I buy a drawer here, £10 of weed, and take it to there, and get to a guy over there, that's county lines. Yeah? I didn't even make him pay me a tenner. I just smoked a spliff with him over there. But because I crossed them county lines with this, it's now a big offence. Kids don't know that. You get me? Why won't we teach law to the kids in school?
Good idea.
Why do we always have to pay to be a lawyer and go to law school to learn the legalese and all this kind of stuff? Why can't you just give basic call it citizen class or whatever? Okay, don't cross the road here, or don't do, you know what I'm saying? Basic stuff like, just install it into them. Let them know.
And this is why I think it's important to get people like you and pay people like you to go into schools and talk to young people and use your experience. Because I tell you something, you would do it. Someone like you, they're going to listen to. They will listen to you because you've done it. And before you answer that question, I'm going to jump back onto my man and I'm going to come back to you about America. Right? So, okay. I mean, I'm just going to finish off. I've got a couple of little things. So obviously we're going to touch on your little bit of movie. So you obviously went to uni and what have you. So just to give me a little bit more about, obviously, what happened with your career then?
Yeah, so obviously at uni, I knew how to edit, I knew how to shoot video, I self-taught myself, but I wanted that extra bit of experience on how to do visual effects. I'm a big Marvel fan. I love Marvel movies, and I always love figuring out how they can do it, and I always see something and I'm like, you know what, if it's being done, I can create it. So I went uni to study visual effects, understood the craft, and along the way I met two other people in uni, Dean and Liam. I think you've met Liam before as well. So Liam studied 3D visual effects. He does like 3D models, and then Dean, he was in doing 2D stuff, like 2D graphics drawings and things like that. And we clicked. And when we clicked, we was like, okay, let's set up something for when we leave here. So we set up Smartway Media.
And that's your company.
Yeah, Smartway Media.
Smart, big up Smartway Media.
Yeah, respect.
Don't forget your first office.
Yes, actually, that was before I went.
That's what I'm saying. But that was a big learning curve.
Yeah, that was a big learning. I actually forgot about that. So, this is when I was still working at DPD, right, before I did the transition. I got the office space, and it was with an accountant. I'm not going to speak too much on the accountant, but he weren't that great. And he kind of left me in a bit of a situation, putting your trust in the accountant and things like that. Okay, you know your stuff, you don't. But he got us an office space, and I didn't really know what we was going to do with it. It was like we had this space, didn't know what I was going to do with it, didn't really have a plan. I was still sort of just like, okay, I'm working my day-to-day job. This is what's paying my bills. And then fast forwarding, we eventually lost the office space, back into work, and then again I took the jump, left the day-to-day job, went to university, met up with the guys, and then we set up Smartway. And what's mad how it's moved on to now, so this cap I'm wearing is Dead Bar. It's part 2 of the movie. But how the first short film come around, it was actually my final year project, which was a short film. And it was based around a close friend of mine, Tom. He's got an AVM in the brain. AVM in the brain.
What is that, like a tumor?
Yeah, sort of. It's basically a part of the brain that's so small it can't be operated on. It's basically to do with the vessels in the brain. And it can't be operated on. And basically his next seizure could be his last one. He's restricted from driving, certain public transport, flying, the air pressure and things like that. And he just sees the world from a different view, and he's got his own struggles. And because he's a close friend, I see a lot of that. And so my film was sort of based around on his view and how he sees the world. And from when I'd done that, it then got picked up by a TAF organisation. So they're based in California. And they reached out to us because they deal with brain aneurysm, and they knew about this AVM pretty well. And straight away, as soon as they see it, they clicked onto it. And since then, they've given us a lot of support with that. Because it's all like putting us like we're known more in California than we are here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so that sort of snowballed by itself.
The middle finger.
Yeah, middle finger, the first one. And it was my last year project as well. And then from there, we're sort of like, okay, what do we follow up on with that then? Which we come round to Dead Bar. And it got premiered in Amsterdam, which was a big achievement. And then now we're working on a third one. Now we're just in the beginning process of it, literally right now, just writing it. So yeah, it's been a wicked journey. And then obviously along the way, met up with you guys, TT, and being invited to your first bodybuilding show as well. That was an experience for us, filming that, because we filmed a lot of live events, but we've never filmed a bodybuilding show. I've watched a lot of it on TV, and I remember saying to you before we even filmed it, I was watching a hell of a lot, because I was watching how I was getting the camera angles. Again, before I go into anything, I like to study it, learn the art, see how they're doing it, see if I can not replicate it, but put my own spin on it. And, again, being there, it was an experience, because it weren't just a bodybuilding show. It was like, you had the anti-knife crime thing, you have the guys on the stage, doing the reenacting scenes out, that was powerful. So it set a really good feel to it. And then when I was talking to bodybuilders backstage and stuff like that, it was just a really good thing to be a part of. Yeah, I hope you got
No, you did a really good job. And
I hope you're doing it again.
yeah, well, obviously, our problem, once again, I mean, obviously, first of all, we've got to just definitely thank you for your support with the anti-knife crime event, which we run, because, like, you did a really good job. The promo was 10 out of 10. Obviously, you've still got a few little bits what you're going to release as well. What our problem is that, when we put these things on, anti-knife crime, as you said, and, as Griffith said, he said that, do they really, and it's just kind of sticking in my head, do these people really want to, resolve this problem, what's going on the street? Because to me, I think you hit the nail on the head today by something what you've said, and it's good. Since I'm going to bring that forward and start questioning, in some of the meetings and boards we actually sit on, I'm going to actually say that, are you really interested in resolving this problem? Because I've never said that, and I've never heard anybody say that before. And I'll tell you now, once again, we actually put on, as I said, an anti-knife crime on the 16th and 17th of August last year, with no funding from the council and most of the big, corporations. We went out to small people like the local corner shop, the little, people who I know, restaurants. We had to put that on, and then we threw our own money into it, our own charity money into it. We never made a penny. People asking about. We actually got raise money for. We got a knife arch for the exclusion centre, which is obviously cost a couple of grand, 2 or 3 grand. We donated that to a school. We did so much work, and the government never damn well come, and the leader and the council didn't attend. And I know she may get upset because I sit on a board with Kate Josephs. Kate Josephs is and she's probably going to hear this, but she sits on the advisory board where I sit on, and I see her and I get a chance to talk to, because you never get to talk to these people. And I remember my sister's got a master's degree in law, my oldest sister, because it works in the House of Lords and what have you. She drove from London. I had my sisters fly home from New York. I had people come from Leicester, London. I had special speakers. We had all you guys come to support. And as my first thing my sister said is, where is the people from the council, and where's Kate Josephs? Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't know. Anti-knife crime Sheffield, after what's happened in a school, what's going on day in, day out on the streets, people are getting killed, and they never supported us. That is the reason why I'm not sure if I want to do it again. It caused me a lot of health issues. After the event, I was ill. We had a lot of problems. All of us, we were exhausted. It took us like 8 months to put together. Once again, with no finances, no help, nobody was bothered about it. Day 2, we actually invited South Yorkshire Police, and I don't care. I mean, if you want to come and arrest me for talking to the truth, because I actually called them out on the mic when I was there. They were supposed to have been having a tug of war with us for a bit of fun, to try and interact with the crowd.
Yeah, I remember.
Right? And they decided at the 11th hour, they didn't want to get involved with the event. Now, all right.
Says a lot.
It says a lot. Why don't you want to get involved with it? Nobody helped promote it. Nobody helped. Luckily, the media got involved, and they came and filmed it. But
Can I ask you something?
yeah, but
What was the highest position that you got to in bodybuilding?
it's IFBB Pro.
Right, that's
high.
really big, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So when you was competing, yeah, and governing bodies that regulate the whole thing, they wanted to make sure that what's the biggest thing, like no drug use, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So you had to do rigorous drug testing, things like that.
To be honest, in sports, there is in bodybuilding, there's no drug testing. There is certain drug tests in certain shows, but in bodybuilding, it's a free for all. But yeah, go on anyway. I just want to put that out before people start jumping on me.
So all right then. Let's just say what the point I'm trying to make is, when you want to stop something, yeah, it's blatant, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get me? Like, you make moves to stop it, right? So we're not seeing any moves to stop knife crime.
None.
We are seeing petty slogans and posters and people getting funding for making 3 words and putting it on a piece of paper. basically. We're not seeing any tangible efforts being made within the school communities. Like, for example, now we have security guards on Tesco's, but none at schools. You get me? Like, you got kids that are free to go in and out of school, assaulting other pupils, doing all sorts of stuff. But where do you see the prevention? Where do you see the efforts being put into the schools to stop outside elements that are bad on road leaking into school?
I don't see any.
Exactly. But in football, car racing, all sorts of stuff, entertainment-wise, there's so many restrictions, boxing, all sorts, right? But none for children. So how are they supposed to learn their boundaries?
And they don't. And unfortunately, this is the reason why I invited South Yorkshire Police to get involved, because I thought the team, obviously we have a very good board member and a good team of people that all work. It's not just me, it's the full team. I mean, Lil'T sits on the board as well, and we're all there and we sit there brainstorming, and we decided to get South Yorkshire Police involved to try to break down the stereotypical us against them and try and get them interacting in the community so people can see that, oh, they're having a bit of a tug of war, can we talk? If there's a problem, then maybe we'll go and talk to them. But by them isolating themselves and standing in the far corner of the event and not getting involved, that just said a lot to me.
Let me tell you something about police in this country. You see, police, politicians and all the rest of them, yeah, they don't know how to turn that off. They don't know how to be Tom, Bill and Ted, yeah? They can't be Oliver and James or Sarah or Sue. They got to be Mr. Jones MP for so-and-so district, or they've got to be Commander so-and-so or Sergeant so-and-so. They can't turn it off. Even when they're with the other police brethren at the police barbecue, it's, "You right, Sarge?" Yeah? They can't turn that off. You get me? So this is why they can't interact with regular humans, yeah, because they see themselves apart, yeah.
Well, it's not going to.
And their job only starts when the crime finishes.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
and
they don't care about what happens before. They don't. That's not their business.
And this is the problem, because what we're trying to do with our charity is prevention's better than cure. Prevention, because we actually had a meeting with I think I'm not sure who it was. So I won't mention anyone in case it's wrong. But it was something to do with the police, and we was trying to do some, as you said, prevention. And it was when I went on one of the first times I ever went on I did an interview for BBC, and I said, I think it's really important that if this closes, they're back on the street. I don't want my children growing up in a society where you can pick up a gun like you're going to McDonald's. And you know that's true. Guys show me if they can get a gun in the next 10, 20, 30 minutes. They can get a knife from anywhere, including the shops. Shops will sell them anything. And they can pick guns up and with ammunition very, very easily. Yeah. And the police came on TV and said, it's not true. Yeah, in his world, it ain't true. In the real world, in the world where everyone else live, they can pick up whatever they damn well want. And I'll tell you something different. But what they said, they've got a program, and you know what their program is? And it's on TV, and you can go back and listen to it. It's on BBC News. It is. He goes back and he says, we've already got a program where we're dealing with anti-knife. We've got a program where we've got people waiting for the victims in the hospital. So in other words, they're not bothered about when you get stabbed, as you just said. They've got something in the hospitals waiting. What about trying to prevent?
Right. So my wife actually does that job.
So your wife does this?
My wife does that job that you just mentioned, right? And she complains about it all the time that they're only they can only pick it up once the youth's been stabbed or they're in the police station.
But I didn't know that was your wife. It's interesting.
No, but this is what I'm saying. They create all these jobs, yeah, but they won't prevent. They won't put, like, for example, okay, she's got that side of it, yeah? But why won't they extend it so she can go into the schools and talk to these youths and show them this is what happened, this is what goes on. You get me? But they won't. They keep everything compartmentalized, so nothing's working. You get me? It's all dysfunctional. It's all separated. You get me? Like one department don't talk to the next department. You get me? Like it's the same with even when you phone the council. You get me? Oh, there's a leak coming from upstairs. Oh, we don't deal with that. You're gonna have to call these other people here. Okay, then yeah, but the water's creating mold, and then there's the rubbish outside. Yeah, but the rubbish is another department. You're gonna have to speak to. Like it's like 4 weeks on the phone just to get your problems sorted and that. Like, but there's no one in the schools pushing these youths into this discipline that they are needing for the structure of their life. Yeah. So you go to these private schools, they got all that patterned out. They're teaching them economics. They're teaching them how to be bosses.
Money management.
They're teaching them banking. They're teaching them these, you know, what stocks are flowing from left to right in the world and things like that. You get me? And then you come to our schools now, and they're just preparing your youth for prison. You get me? They're preparing your youth for prison or a factory job. You know what I'm saying? And if you aspire to be over that, then you're now entered into a certain criteria. You get me? If you aspire to be more than what they want you to be, you're now going into a certain criteria. And then those percentage of the small percentage out of that 100% of youths are now monitored. But what about the rest of them youths?
Running free.
Exactly. Drill music for you, bruv. Yeah? Grind for you, bruv. You get me?
It's interesting.
You've been groomed by the OGs on the block. Yo, hold this food. Go and drop that off to my man down there. That's how it starts, isn't it? When you come back, I'll give you 20 quid. Do that 3 times a day, 5 times a day, you got a wanna. You get me? Do that 5 days a week, you got 5 bills a week. You making a wage like a man that's going to work.
More than people on
You get me?
going to a normal job.
Yeah. And then you expect these youths to give that up to do what? Go back to school?
And that's what some of them are telling me. What you're talking to me now, I have them in here, and I'm trying to get them to change the mindset to go and get a job. And they say, no, they're not paying, making peas.
I'm making pea, and if a boy tests me, man, I'll put 20 bag on his head.
You know, I had to actually take, and you see, this is the problem. I've got to be careful because obviously, you know, as you use the word groom, I had somebody here, and we took him out because he just said one bad apple spoils the bunch, and his mindset wants to. He's telling me that he's not changed. He's not going to go no McDonald's and because he's making 2 bills a week a day. So I mean, what he's not. Why should I pack that up to talk of going working McDonald's? So I told him, I said, yeah, all right then. Well, go back out and do your thing then, because I can't stop that.
Tell him put it in the bank.
You know what I've done?
Tell us put it in the bank.
It was actually dangerous because he's been here for so long. I've had to just tell him that, you know, something, I can't help you, and you're not going to help everyone. That's another thing. He's old enough now, and I had to show him and say, yo, you cannot. I can't help you.
And this is what I'm saying. Like certain man, then you get me. Unfortunately, like.
He needs to go to prison because he wants to go.
People think that everybody can get saved. No, no.
I mean, unfortunately,
everybody can't get saved.
I listened to Comrade, and as I said, he's a you know, really nice guy, good-hearted guy. The way he speaks, I've not got the faith in everybody like this guy. Like, I'm probably not as bad. You're the other side of the coin. Where you think everybody's bad. You know what they just said. Like, but
yo, it's not that I think everybody's bad. I think the society is bad, and the society is what's training people. Yeah, they're training the youths from early dawns. Yeah, and then the youths are coming up and thinking that certain behavior is just normal standard. Yeah, they're thinking anti is standard. Anti ain't standard. When we was coming up, you couldn't be anti. You get me? You couldn't be anti. There's bare songs about that Bujo and all them man. You couldn't be anti. Now anti is the standard. Next thing you know, when my grandchildren grow up, they're going to think that's always been there. And it's always been devil over God.
And that's interesting where we're saying devil over God as a man of the Most High. I mean, I pray every day, and I pray that God, the devil gets crushed by them, you know. But in society where we live, it ain't great because Satan is running wild on this world, as we're saying.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, right? You see the archangel beat up the devil, yeah? Box him down, innit? Right, so why now we don't want to box down the devil? I thought he was the up. You get me? I thought we was against the ops. So why am I supposed to be giving him grace? You know, see, the thing don't make no sense to me. I'm a logical man. You get me? I'm a warrior. You get me? And if I believe that I'm on the side of good and you lot are blatantly doing evil things over there, you're my enemy. I can't rock with you. And when we clash, we're going to clash. And somebody ain't going to breathe behind that. You get me? That's the war. Whether it's spiritual, physical, you know what I'm saying? That's the war right there. You cannot friend with the ops. You can't make devil behavior allowable. You can't allow that. You have to call it out. You have to make them know, no, that's wrong. I don't rock with that. You get me? It's just like everybody's so fixated with who's a rat and who's an informer and this and that. Things that don't make no sense to nobody. These are things that are lingering on from slavery days, from when man was snitching to the slave master. Willie Lynch letter, how to separate slaves for 1,000 days, for 1,000 years. Pitch the old against the young, the mother against the son, the father against the daughter. Yeah, be a confusion, and it will last. Keep your slaves broken. Yeah, and in between that, you had the slave catchers, the overseers, the officers, yeah, the police officers, yeah, the police overseers, yeah, slave catchers, the slave catcher patrol. This is who these people are, yeah, the bill, yeah, the peel, yeah, this is them. You get me? The grippers, whatever name you want to have for them, there's one purpose, right? And we are not equipping our youths with the correct knowledge to navigate this world, to navigate amongst these people, these slave catchers, these overseers, these people that are set in place to keep us in place. Remember, I come from Barbados, yeah? My family lives right underneath Gun Hill. Yeah, Gun Hill is the signal point for where they used to look out to see where all the slaves, if anybody was revolting on any of the plantations, yeah, they could see the whole bottom coast of Barbados. You get me? So I grew up knowing certain things. My parents and my family telling me certain things, you get me? And it weren't until I was older till I stopped all my mad behavior where it started seeking in. But you don't have, but to save the next you a lifetime, 30-odd, 40-odd years of pain, just teach them in the school, man. Give them some law. Give them some discipline. You get me?
But do you think as you said that you don't believe that the government really wants to teach them?
Nah, man.
So I believe it takes somebody like, us guys, people with life experience, to go and maybe share that to young people, like what I do in this gym.
Like you said, if you see that you coming in there every day, banging them weights, bam, 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 eating 8 times a day, like you say, and taking the proteins and doing all the rest of it right, you say, yo, I believe that he wants to be a bodybuilder, yeah? So I'm going to help this youth, yeah? But they look at a bare youths on the road, yeah, and don't give them no kind of help. Even if the youth's displaying a skill that could make it, you know what I'm saying? You don't give them no order. You don't give them no boundaries, no doors, no walls. They're going to go anywhere, and that's what we've got right now.
And there's nothing for them to do.
No.
So they've got no discipline really in school, and then probably not much at home, because I'd say a lot of cases virtually zero. And the only time these guys are going to get discipline, and I can tell, is because when they come in and I had to give them the pep talk, I said, right, you need to do this because we do boxing on a Monday, martial arts this, we do cage, we do weights, we do this, you got a game drill. I show them, but they're right, you need to show some manners and respect. The what? Ask pardon. And then I have to reprogram the bad mindset what they've got. And as you said, nobody's showing them in school, nobody's showing them in home. You've got the groomers on road, as you said, giving them all this
feral,
make X amount of dollars.
You used to have feral.
And that's what's happening, and that's the word feral. And it's difficult to reprogram some of them, and sometimes I had to put them out. I had to kick out 50 at one time, and I had them in here for a year.
Yeah, because you see them 50 that you kick out, they was destined to be taught by the prison officer. There's levels to this thing.
The majority.
Yes, the first level is your parents.
Well, I've given them.
Yeah, we used to have community centers.
There is no community centre.
We used to have them.
Yeah. This is the only one we have, and the government are even funding us for it.
Exactly. And this is my point. All right? How are you supposed to do your job with both your hands tied behind your back and they tell you to catch?
We're struggling. It's the end of the month, and in the end of the month, my heart drops a beat. Oh, I've got to pay this guys that work here. We've got a guy behind us at the moment. He's a volunteer because we don't have money. We don't have money like that. And then I've got to pay the rent. I've got to pay the rates. Everything's gone through the roof.
How many places in the city are doing
What
stuff? No, not just what you're doing, but things that help engage with the kids.
I don't know. Probably 2. Me and another one.
Right.
I don't know them.
Okay, let's even say that there's 15 places in this city.
I don't know 15. I know 2.
I'm being generous.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah? How many businesses are there in this city?
Millions.
So how come these few places can't get no kind of funding? But yet still you want to tell me that you want to try and keep these youths off a road and you want to help these youths. But the little 15 places that half the 15 don't exist, you can't even give them a little 10, 20, 30 grand out of your 2 billion budget or whatever they're dancing around with in London and that.
And that's and it's funny you should say that, because every year for charities, there's actually, I think I googled it. I think it's £2 billion in funding every year.
Yeah, I googled it myself.
You googled it yourself, and I'll tell you now, they are not giving it to the grassroots charities. It goes to the ones with a fancy office where you're walking around in this big dicky bow ties. They are getting the funding, and what they've normally done, because they've actually approached me and they've subbed the work. Some people like me was actually doing the work for pennies. They give little chunk change, and they keep the massive funding, right? And they are paying themselves 50, 100 grand a year, all that, and they're giving me, and I'm the one doing the work. That's where because they're getting I don't know if the brown envelope, I've got no idea what's going on, but it's not happening. And even you got a CIC.
Yeah.
How much funding are you getting?
It's difficult again. Same with you. We get very little, but with that little, we stretch. We stretch it and do the
I did my studio for 7 and almost 8 years and paid for everything out of my own pocket. Yeah? I went broke doing it, sold all my jewelry, sold my cars, my motorbikes, all that. Yeah, I could get them back anytime when I'm ready. Man, a hustler, you know what I mean? But like, the point is, I never seen none of these police people come in there and support me. We had a couple of people come around and show a bit of interest, but when their hype died down, they left. You get me? Like I said, you know who wants to help. You know who wants to help. Like, why aren't the police or the council or even schools, why aren't they here? Why aren't they sending their best students here? Or even the ones that are being disrupted, why aren't they sending them to you? You get me?
I'll be honest.
Why are you
send them here?
Yeah, but why are you not
But they send
part of the paid option?
No, but that's the thing. They send them here because they know that
It's free.
it's free.
Exactly. Why they come to the race?
Just one example, they get paid X amount of thousands of pounds per week, whatever it is, and they come here, send me the worst kids, what are almost uncontrollable to work with, and pays nothing.
Listen, I told you about the job that my wife did, yeah? That my wife does. I told you about what her job is, yeah? They pulled the funding. That job is no more. Come couple months now, that job gone. So the youths ain't even going to get that support when they've been juked up and they're in the hospital, yeah? It's all a numbers game for these people, and the numbers ain't falling in our bank accounts. You get me? It's only strictly for them. One hand wash the other, and none of them are our hands. Yeah, you know how many times I've been to these meetings with all these community leaders, these people that own these charities and these companies, companies that are community interest companies and stuff like that. Yeah, we're all in one room having functions, having meetings and stuff, and every last one of them is begging for funding. Every last one of them. Yeah, and then you got people that are getting funding and they don't want to tell you the secrets.
They don't want to tell you the secrets, and I'll give you a quick job, right? Because before we're going to wrap up in a second, but you know, they're not so far away. There's a building. I won't even mention the name, you know, and this is what I mean about funding. They gave this particular charity, I think they gave them £2 million
Right.
to renovate a building. I mean, I could build 10 of them for that kind of money. I mean, and then they renovated it, right? And then they got a couple £100,000 for the first year. And what the objective was to get young people off the street. And you know the crazy thing about it, right? You know, they phoned me up. He said, yeah, can we work with you? Because we can't get no young people in here. We've got a gym. We've got this. We've got that. Them kids ain't going up there because they're not real. Yeah, they've got no experience. If you was up there, you or me, they're going to come.
Exactly.
You've got these guys walking around in a suit in a bright place playing Kylie Minogue and God, you know, an environment where they don't feel comfortable and talking to man. I've had situations where guys are coming to me, you know, where he's got his girlfriend pregnant. I've got guys coming to me, oh, I've got problems at home, I'm getting bullied.
Life problems.
I've got beef with the next youth. I've got gangs coming.
Yeah, real stuff.
This is what I'm dealing with every day. I've got mums coming to see me. You know, my son's getting bullied. Can you help? I've got a full community of people coming in here talking to me about real problems, and they sat with £2 million worth of building and hundreds of thousands of pounds in funding in an empty building, all on X amount of £100,000 a year, and us getting flip all.
Yeah, it's all a game, and this is what I'm saying about
on the corner from here.
They
I met a lady, so
if you're not,
yeah, so you know I'm told yes.
Yeah, and
if no one's going in there, come we've got 200 kids in the last. We've had to slow it down. Because around Christmas, I was getting 40, 50 guys coming in at one time. I said, my normal gym members are getting frustrated. I said, what the hell's all this? So we've had to limit it and cut it down, and they have to come and queue and put the names down to come in. Because we don't get the funding.
Right.
And woe betide, because we are, the little bit of funding what we have got is getting stretched. So we're charging them all £1 now, £1 to help, you know, and luckily we've got volunteers. Luckily, people like that.
This is what I'm saying. Like, how long will a volunteer?
How can he? He's got to
knowing that he's got to go work as well. Then he's got to do this and do that, you know, to make his life work. But yet still, he's got the passion enough to come and volunteer and help try and, you know, help another youth grow. You get me? And these people that are running the show, they can't respect that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I got to call it how it is, man, because I'm not stupid. Yeah, you can't punch me and then tell me you ain't fighting. Yeah, it's simple as that, bro. You punch me, we're fighting. Yeah, there's a rule, innit? You kick the ball at me, I'm gonna kick it back at you, innit? Football. You get me, right? So don't tell me you want to help these youths, but you ain't putting down nothing to help these youths. You're not even bringing a mat and say, here's a gym mat, let them youths bounce on that. What have they bought? A skipping rope? What have they bought? You get me? Nothing. And this is what I'm saying. How are you going to then turn around and say that you want to help these youths?
As you rightly said, and you just like, as I said, you opened my eyes, man, and I'm going to put that to them, that you really want this to be resolved. It's no one's ever actually said that. You know?
Bro, you see these people at the airports, innit? Yeah? They really don't want drugs and guns going through the airport and things like that. So what do? Security up the wazoo, yeah? You can't even sneeze around there, yeah? Right, okay then, yeah? So why are you telling me you want to help these youths?
We're doing, and not even supporting the local communities.
You can't even send a bottle of Cadbury's chocolate to give them a hot drink at night time, much less bread in the morning. You get me? Enough of these youths are leaving out the house with nothing to eat and going out the road and robbing something so they can eat. You know why I know? Because I used to do that.
And you know why I know? Because I'm here every damn well day and I see and talk to these guys and they haven't got no money. Because this is a real situation. It's funny that you say that. One of the guys, you know, he's actually not been coming in for a while. I must contact him. And the young ginger-eyed guy, you know, a young white guy, really nice guy. And he was asking me what to get bigger because he was getting bullied. These are the things I'm dealing with. You know, he had a girlfriend and some guy beat him up and took his girlfriend anyway. And he wants to just say, nobody's going to do him that. So I've been giving some extra lessons boxing, right? And then it's a fight. So he can defend himself. And then he said he wants to get bigger. So I said to him, so he wanted to know what foods to eat. So I told him chicken, this, that, and then he went, unfortunately, Trevor, I can't remember, man got enough money for that.
Right. You know what?
But he did job, Griff. I was in a group scenario telling him this, and then the other one didn't want to say it. He goes, oh, Trevor, but we haven't got no money for that. And then another one, because one said it.
Yeah.
Before now, I've got
And
X amount of 10p kids all telling me they've got no money for food.
you
I thought, what the hell? I said, I give up.
you know something else that I don't know if you might not be aware or you might be aware because you're right in the middle of it. But the majority of these youths that can't afford to live are white youths in this country. Yeah, I'm telling you.
A lot of white kids.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You see the white youths in this country. Yeah, they got it bad. Yeah, they don't get the same nurturement.
It was what a lot.
They don't get the same nurturements. Yeah,
It was this though.
and this is what I'm trying to say to you. And then they grow up resenting shit. You get me? They grow up with feeling like, yo, how come he's going home every day and he's getting big fit food and all this kind of stuff? Or his mum buys him this or that. You know, I hate that guy. And that's how the resentment starts. And then the youths them start clashing and all this and all that. Oh, he's an N word. Oh, you're this and he's a P and all. You get me? It all starts. That's how it all starts. You get me? But when you leave the youths them to, like, if you've seen youths that just move by themselves and when you watch them, they'll look after the one that ain't got by themselves. They're like, oh yeah, we're eating. Yeah, buy my man. So yeah, everybody's eating food. Yeah, because you've left them to nurture themselves. You get me? And that's their brethren, no matter what. And they ain't gonna see him go under. Yeah, but when you look at the big grand scheme of things now, well, they want you to laugh at that one that don't have no food. They want you to shame him. You get me? This is what society is telling you to do. Shame that you that don't have no food. Shame him. Don't buy him no food. Laugh at him.
Trainers, no this.
You get me? Take a picture of him and put him on social media. He ain't got no food. We're eating. Look at this sandwich. You get me? How is that right? Exactly. And this is what I'm saying. Like we come from backgrounds where our parents, yeah, are nurturers by just do the things that they've gone through being black. Yeah, they're preparing us for certain things when we go out a road. Oh, mind them police, mind them NF guys, and this and that and this and that. So we got certain things drilled into us. Even when in our older music, they used to teach us the lessons. Yeah, they weren't getting them lessons. They were getting battered at home. You get me? By their dad and all that. Yeah, getting kicked up about and all that. Yeah, he's on. Why do you think you see a lot of these white kids, 8 years old, 3-4 miles away from their house, walking around doing nonsense? You get me?
Seen it.
Exactly. Because they ain't getting that nurturing. Because they come from a different society, whereas all this is theirs. They don't have to do the extra nurturing to make that child feel good because everything's theirs already. You get me?
And you can see, when you look at somebody, look in the face, you can see that some of them have they just had a hard time being young.
Yeah,
but you can see that look.
Back in the days, they used to shove them up a chimney. And them 3 years old, yo, get up there and go clean that. This is the history of this country, bro. You get me? They never they've never treated their children correctly.
And I believe that if you're not from a certain society, a lot of the time they don't care. Rich people don't care about poor whites, poor blacks, poor Asian,
And this is what I'm saying.
Thing. And we're all at the bottom.
You're a financial N-word.
That's it. That's what it is. The hack, but it's true.
Yeah.
They don't really give a damn about all of this.
This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Bottom. So what we have to do really is all unite to try and move forward. Because you've got these people, and I don't really want to go down there because we want to wrap up, but you've got this reform, this Nigel Farage.
I was going to mention him.
Dangerous man, and he's going to win the next election. And I tell you something, there's going to be a revolution in this country.
Yeah, because
the place is going to be writing. This man is only for billionaires and millionaires.
Bro,
he's going to destroy the NHS.
He thinks he's Trump.
Of course.
He thinks he's Trump.
He thinks he's
Let's
Trump.
just put it there. Let's just put it right there.
And what I heard, I was talking to this very, very clever person when I was in Spain. Somebody really up to date politics and what have you. And I was just having a chat with him. And he lives in Spain and he's English. And he said, I don't want that Farage to win because my children are still there. And I said, well, go on then, why? And he said, because that man gets paid by the Russian government, by Putin, and he's going to destroy the UK. And I'm like, wow. know who's ever said that, but you know something.
Not only that,
You know, they never ever says anything bad about Putin. He's always rating him, and he's getting paid by that guy, he said, to destroy, and he will destroy England, because what he's got all, like we said, all the people at the bottom wants to get them all fighting about refugees. So it's not even 1% of the problem. He wants us all to fight, while the rich people are going to cream and take everything off the top and make themselves more richer. What they're going to do with the money, I don't know. Because when I was at my father's funeral, do you know how much money he took? 0. When he got put in the ground, he got nothing. It was nothing. You're not taking it with you. So how much more millions do you need to live? This Farage is going to destroy England, and they'll be writing on the street.
these people got weapons factories here in the UK, but ain't nobody in the UK can hold a weapon.
Exactly.
What does that tell you, man? This whole damn place is corrupt, man. It's all topsy-turvy, lad. I keep telling you, man.
And I know, believe it or not, I try and make my own luck, but you know, and I come from obviously a working family, you know, and my father used to always say, vote Labour, and I would never, after this guy, I would never vote this Labour again, bro. I ain't voting for none of them, because they're all it's a waste of time.
You see when all this nonsense was kicking off and all across the world. You see Nepal. You see them man there in Nepal. You see what them drop. You see the science that them drop. Bro, these men wake up, yeah, and mashed up the whole government. They had every politician skirting out the ends, bro. I seen 3 politicians hanging onto a rope on the end of a helicopter getting fly out. Yeah? Yeah? While they mashed up everything, every police station, constable, everything. You see the next day? They cleaned up the whole city and reset.
Where they run them out.
Run out every last politician out in big yard and all them thing there. All the police were pulling off their badges and throwing them and joining the people. Because they know better. It's the people. There's only yay much of you lot.
And you know something.
And this much people.
And you know something, as I said, they're probably going to censor for us, because they probably won't allow it to go out, because we're going to be out getting this out on YouTube, you know, so... But that's where I think we're going to leave it. But I'm also, before this, I'm going to...
YouTube is owned by ABC.
Well, we'll stick it out on all the other platforms. We're going to have to speak to the...
No, but what I'm saying to you, YouTube, the platform YouTube, biggest global thing in the world, is owned by another company, yeah, which is ABC. And they own a whole lot of more things. And these 2 guys that own that, yeah, I'll leave that for the next one. But yeah, people out there, just go and do a little research, find out who owns YouTube and what their other agendas are.
And before I wrap up, what I want to say, because I'm going to give everybody else a little bit to talk, but I believe that we definitely need, you know, these 2 guys back for, first of all, our mentoring with our young group. But I also want to do a part 2, because you're not going to believe there's so much more what these guys can share with you, because we've already scratched this surface today, and I'll be, you know, because he's got his experience in America, you've got more stuff you can talk about where you are right now. But I'm going to hand it over to you just to tell everybody where you can find, if anybody wants a movie done, anybody wants to contact you, you tell me what's going on.
Yes, so that's sorry, Chuck. Just mention about the show, the bodybuilding show going forward.
Oh, no, afterwards. Let him just talk about that. We can do that. You can do that.
Yeah, so it's Smartway Media, smartwaymedia.co.uk. Just head over to the website. There's a whole load of contact details on there.
Yeah, I mean, and then do you want to talk about your bodybuilding thing?
Yeah, but just pretty short for now.
You.
So yeah, I mean, so we're still carrying the message. You heard what Trevor had to say. He's quite passionate about it, but having no funding, which is true. We didn't get no money for it, but we're still carrying with the good work. So we're still carrying with the message. Drop the knife. We have an upcoming show. We do a collaboration with a new federation. We'll be having another bodybuilding show. Conrad will filming it again. We're making a little film as well as we go along. Got interesting characters coming, real life characters. Big Trev taking a back seat on this one. And I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. The amount of work he put in is ill over his health. It affected his health. So we decided, Big Trev, you backseat from this and let the rest of the board get on with it. Because he's done his bit, you know, and on a serious bit, you know, the respect Trevor's got in the city is really underrated. He's put his own time in. He takes a lot of time from his family. Comes here.
In this country.
Well, in this country, then, yeah, okay. I mean, is it? He doesn't get respect this gym is a family gym, it's a community gym, and it's for all faiths to come here. It's a safe space. No matter where you're in your life, mental health, physical, whatever you are. This gym here, you come here, you treat equally, and it's a safe spot. And if you want to reach out to Trevor, it's always open anytime. And yes, we're going to carry the message. The next show's happening, and this man's going to carry on with it. And yes, thank you. And thank you for everyone, previous sponsoring, supporting us. And like Trevor said, the money, it came from guys who were concerned, the real people who were concerned about kids dying on the street. They were the real people. Put their hands in their pocket, say, oh, guys, put this forward. Thank you to you guys. Going forward for next, I appreciate the support ongoing. Thank you.
And yeah, do you want to finish off with a sort of positive message? And what tells what you're doing and where can anybody call you? I believe that, I'll be honest, I'd love to have worked with this guy as a peer mentor. I'm going and do some work with him because I think, obviously, I think you're a pretty intelligent guy as well. Obviously, present yourself really well. I mean, people might look at his appearance like me. They look at me, a big black guy. But obviously, when he speaks, if you listen to him carefully, it's talking a lot of sense, a lot of real passion and experience. So I've got to respect you for that as well. And you as well today, all of you. But yeah, I think that you have, because you've even got me thinking, not many people do that, but you've got me thinking today about certain things, what you've actually said. But yeah, tell us a little bit, how do you contact you?
I just got my music page really. Vader the Dark Father. Vader, or rather Vada, is Dutch for father. So whichever way you say it, that's why I'm a father. Yeah, man. I put everything that I speak about, I put it into my music. Yeah, man. And like in life, sometimes you got good days and sometimes you got bad days. Sometimes I'm not happy when I go in the studio, and you'll know about it. But the end result is always going to be the same. You get me? It's a life lessons and life warnings, and that's what I'm about. So yeah, Vader the Dark Father, Instagram and Facebook. Other than that, I'm just in Leicester. Ask anybody for me, and they will point you.
Yeah, right. Thanks, man. And yeah, so I just want to say a really special thanks once again to these extra special thank you to both of these guys coming all the way from Leicester to join me and Lil'T on the new look. Brutally honest, as I said, we're having some really exciting guests on, and we've kicked it off and mashed it up in 2026 with two, serious guys here today, and it's been really, really good. I've actually learned a lot as well. I've been around a long time, and as I said, I think moving forward, we can definitely work with these guys, and we're going to get them back for part 2. Once again, we're a little bit about what we some of the things, the gym's doing and what's happening. Of course, T's obviously running the the bodybuilding show. He's in control of that. I'm going to be putting on a fitness retreat, which is something which we've nobody's really doing. There's loads of retreats, yoga retreats, different kind of Pilates and what have you. But we're putting on a fitness retreat. We're going to put one in the south of Spain, which is going to be really good. So we fly over to the south of Spain. You can either do it for 3 or 6 days, And then we've also got a fitness retreat in in Wales, So that's going to be really good. Really exciting stuff going on in the gym. We're having a lot of different equipment, we've had a sauna, we've had quite a few things going on. The kids, the projects, anything else, what we're doing, we're going to continue to spread the positive message, reduce antisocial behavior, knife crime. That's what we're all about. Talks, so many things what we got planned for this year. As we go through the Brutally Honest podcast, we'll explain it to you as we go. For now, yep, I think that's it for today. Once again, thank you very much for listening. Do remember to like and subscribe, for the brand new look Olympia podcast. Big up and bless.